life is calling for your attention. It's very easy to start to judge our experience, and to me this is where suffering comes in, is to judge it rather than to be with it. And often when there are energetic arisings, let's say, and we describe them as unpleasant or painful or not wanted, often in my experience is life going, hello, over here, come here, pay attention to here. So there's something in you, in your experience, calling for your attention. And it's all too easy to go directly up to a why, which is actually taking your attention away from it, funnily enough. What happens when we allow ourselves to drop all mentation, as in thoughts about? We don't have to push them away, but just drop them, let them be there, and actually come back to the felt experience of it, the energetic felt experience, and intimately welcome it, actually. It's not just a witnessing as a distance, but it's a holding, a welcoming, a curiosity of what is in your experience. You say it's not intrinsic and it shouldn't be there, or I'm paraphrasing, but what happens if you drop that notion and actually just be gently with what is? It's inviting you to be with it, to be with your experience. You know, we have all sorts of experiences coming up all the time throughout our entire day. We have all sorts of experiences coming up. What happens if we totally welcome all experiencing? What happens then? I mean, even right now as we sit here, what happens? Yeah, and so this is how we push away our experiences. And you know, like here it came up as something physical, and actually when you come more intimate to the knowing of it, you go, actually this is very emotional. And to me, this is where we create problems in our system. This is where we push these experiences away instead of wholly welcoming life. You know, we call it an experience, but wholly welcoming life is really what it is. And the softness that is just, it is, to me, there's nothing more beautiful actually than really allowing yourself to just be exactly as you are. You judge that thing as not being able to be there or shouldn't be there. No wonder it is experienced as pain then. Sometimes if there is initially this fear of, it's going to overwhelm me, I can't handle it, sometimes we first and foremost have to deal with that gateway, which says, I'm afraid. So sometimes before we can actually feel like we have the safety to be with that, whatever that is, we first and foremost have to acknowledge the sort of sense of, I don't want to be with this. And you see how in holding that, it sort of opens up the ability and the sense of safety or the sense of holding of what is being experienced. You can't muscle our way into this stuff. As much as we would like to, we can't take control of the situation. We have to open up to it. Well, this is the funny thing about resistance, is it comes in many forms, and it's not always obvious to ourselves that it is resistance. You know, resistance sounds like a very oh, I know what resistance is and it looks like this, but sometimes it's so slippery and so subtle, and to me, I'm using resistance in a very, very broad way. What I mean by resistance is not meeting the moment. Actually, it's not a judgment, it's not a moral judgment, it's not a, oh, you're resisting this and therefore you're bad, which is can kind of take resistance can take on that flavor sometimes. But I'm talking about it in very, very general terms of that which we're not meeting. And yeah, sometimes it's not obvious what we're not meeting. And so we have to sometimes open up to something in order to see the true thing that is actually, you know, like you're saying, this emotion, you felt this pain in the heart. Well, actually what we find there is emotion. And there's nothing wrong with that emotion. It's our conditioned idea of what is correct to be experiencing and what is incorrect to be experiencing that puts this idea into the mind and also into the body. There's a correlation there that says, no, not this. And it's that no that creates that sense of separation of life rather than the intimacy with all that is.